A 71-year-old man didn't wake up this morning. No illness, no accident, no obvious warning signs. But his death didn't begin today. It started with small, very small, and signals that no one noticed. Have you ever wondered, does the body give us quiet warnings before it shuts down? Maybe death doesn't come like a storm, but like a gentle breeze, slowly draining away life, little by little, day by day. In this video, we're going to explore 6 silent signs that many people over 70 might be carrying with them, without even realizing it. They're not painful, they're not frightening, but they're like a slow drain on a battery, and one day someone who feels perfectly healthy today may not wake up tomorrow. This isn't just an empty warning, it's something geriatric doctors see all too often. When patients finally get to the hospital, it's already too late. As one expert put it, aging-related death is never sudden. It follows a pattern, and it always starts with small, quiet signs. If you're over 70, or you have parents or loved ones who are, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Not just for the video, but because what you're about to learn could save someone's life. And be sure to watch until the end, because sometimes a small sign spotted at the right moment is all it takes to prevent today from becoming the last. Let's get started. Sign number 1, it's not pain, it's not shortness of breath, it's just a feeling of exhaustion, chronic fatigue. Have you ever woken up feeling completely drained, even though you didn't do anything? No fever, no pain, no illness, just waking up and feeling like your body's made of stone. Everything feels like an effort, and resting doesn't help. Even small tasks like walking to the kitchen or folding a towel feel like lifting a heavy weight. Many people over 70 think it's just part of getting old. But in reality, chronic fatigue is one of the first signs of heart failure. Here's why. The heart works like a pump. When that pump starts weakening, it can't circulate enough oxygen-rich blood to the muscles and brain. You won't feel pain, but your whole body begins running on low power. Every task becomes a silent burden. In fact, according to the American Heart Association, 85% of patients with early-stage heart failure report feeling exhausted for at least 3 months before being diagnosed. Most of them ignored it, thinking it was just aging or poor sleep. Take Janice, age 70. She used to think she was just lazy. That is, until one day she felt dizzy just standing up while cooking. She went to the doctor and found out her heart was only pumping at 40% of its capacity. If you're feeling like Janice, don't wait for things to get worse. Many people write off chronic fatigue as sleep problems, depression, or just getting older. But the real culprit could be a heart that's silently wearing out. If ignored, heart failure will continue to progress. Week by week, you'll feel more tired. You'll walk less. You'll eat less. You'll lie down more often. As we age, muscles weaken, lungs lose some elasticity, and blood pressure tends to dip a little. And one day, the heart might struggle to keep up. The good news is, mild heart failure can be managed if caught early. So if you've been feeling unusually fatigued for more than 2 weeks with no clear cause, it's time to get your heart checked. Simple, painless tests like an echocardiogram or electrocardiogram don't require hospitalization and can give you important insight into your heart health. In addition to seeing your doctor, making small lifestyle changes can go a long way. Light daily walking, reducing your salt intake, staying hydrated, monitoring your blood pressure regularly. These habits can help ease the burden on your heart. And remember, fatigue is often the first sign, but not the last. If you pay attention, you might notice your heart struggling even during the most ordinary moments, like when you climb a few stairs and find yourself gasping for breath. The second warning, shortness of breath on stairs. Your heart is exhausted. Have you ever reached the top of just a few stairs and had to stop? Not because you were tired, but because you just couldn't breathe. Gripping the handrail, chest tight, heart racing. After just a few steps, you might think, maybe I've just gotten out of shape. But this could be a much bigger issue. After age 70, shortness of breath after mild exertion, especially climbing stairs or walking uphill, is a major red flag. Your heart is supposed to pump faster when you move, sending oxygen-rich blood to your cells. But when the heart is weak, it can't keep up. As your body struggles to get enough oxygen, your lungs try to compensate by speeding up your breathing. But it's not enough, and that's when you feel breathless, dizzy, or lightheaded. Research from Harvard University shows that over 70% of patients hospitalized for heart failure had experienced breathlessness while climbing stairs in the 6 months before their hospitalization. Yet many dismissed it as just normal fatigue. Take Mr. Charles, 73, from Denver. He'd been climbing 2 flights of stairs every morning to water his plants, but after a while he had to stop halfway to catch his breath. He assumed it was the heat, but one morning he collapsed on the stairs. His heart had failed to deliver enough oxygen to his brain. After receiving emergency care, doctors diagnosed him with stage 2 heart failure, which may have been developing quietly for years. The bottom line, the bad news. If you wait until your heart is already exhausted to seek help, recovery becomes much harder. The good news, if detected early, your heart has a chance to rest and recover. So what should you do if you're noticing shortness of breath? If you're often winded after light exertion, don't push yourself with intense exercise, thinking you'll build stamina. That could put unnecessary strain on your heart. Instead, start with gentle movements. Measure your blood pressure every morning. Take a slow 5-minute walk around the house, paying attention to how your body reacts. And if you find yourself avoiding physical activity because you're afraid of getting tired or running out of breath, it might be time to schedule a simple appointment with a cardiologist. One checkup, one electrocardiogram, could help you avoid a much bigger problem down the line. Because the longer you wait, the more fatigued your heart becomes, and the more you get used to that fatigue, thinking it's just a part of aging. The third warning, brief chest pain that fades. The next sign might catch you off guard. It's quick, then it disappears. But it's also one of the most important clues your heart is sending. Have you ever felt a slight pressure in your chest lasting only a few seconds, then suddenly gone? It wasn't intense pain, just a mild tightness, a burning sensation, or the feeling that something was pressing on your chest. It lasted no longer than the length of a song. No shortness of breath, no fainting. So you probably think, oh, it's just stress, a full stomach, or maybe I slept in a weird position. And then you ignore it. But here's the truth. Fleeting chest pain can be an early warning sign of a heart attack, especially for older adults. Your heart doesn't scream when it's in trouble. It quietly groans and then falls silent. But just because it's silent doesn't mean everything's okay. This is what we call a silent alarm. According to the U.S. National Heart Institute, over 40% of heart attack cases in older adults are preceded by mild chest discomfort that occurs 1 to 2 weeks before the heart attack itself. But most people don't notice it. In fact, many don't even mention it, not even the person experiencing it. Take Helen, age 76, from San Diego. One day while cooking, she felt a slight tightness in her chest. A few days later, it happened again while walking to the post office. Both times, the discomfort lasted just a few minutes and then went away, so she never told her children about it. Then, on a Sunday evening, she felt the pressure again, this time much stronger. She sat down to rest, drank some water, but 10 minutes later, she collapsed in front of the sofa. Thankfully, her daughter called emergency services right away. The doctor said 5 minutes later would have been too late. Even brief chest pain, especially if it happens more than once, after physical activity, after eating or during emotional stress, should be treated as a yellow light from your body. So what should you do? Don't self-diagnose. Don't search for answers on Google. Go get an ECG, electrocardiogram, and a cardiac enzyme test. These 2 tests are key to detecting ischemic heart disease, the condition that causes chest pain and often precedes a heart attack. And if you've ever had a sharp pain that went away quickly, don't just write it off as something in the past. See it as your heart's final whisper. Brief chest pain is a red flag, and if your heart is still holding on, your body will send its next warning through a different system. The 4th sign is chronic insomnia. Are you dealing with sleepless nights? Not just here and there, but for months at a time. Your eyes sting, your body feels drained, but your mind won't shut off. You lie in bed, but restful sleep seems out of reach. Sound familiar? Many older adults just accept this as a normal part of aging. But chronic insomnia is not normal. It doesn't just leave you tired, it silently damages your heart and brain. Sleep is when your body heals. Without enough of it, your heart keeps working overtime, your blood pressure stays high, and your stress hormones never get a chance to calm down. Long-term sleep deprivation puts extra strain on your heart without giving it the rest it needs, and your brain. If you're not getting deep, restorative sleep, your brain can't properly flush out toxins, increasing your risk of memory loss, depression, and disorientation. A 25-year study from the University of Pennsylvania found that adults over 65 who suffered from chronic insomnia for more than 3 months had a 45% higher risk of heart attack and double the risk of cognitive decline. Raymond, age 74, lived alone after his wife passed. Every night, he only managed a few hours of sleep. During the day, he seemed fine. That is, until one morning, he collapsed while making coffee. The diagnosis, severe heart failure caused by chronic insomnia. His heart hadn't had real rest in years. It's heartbreaking, but it's real. So what can you do? First, reset your biological clock. Go to bed and wake up at the same time each day. Get exposure to natural sunlight in the morning. It'll reduce screen time at least 1 hour before bed. Avoid eating late dinners and don't drink tea or coffee after 2 p.m. And if you're lying in bed wide awake, don't force yourself to stay there. Try reading a few pages of a light book or listening to soft instrumental music. Remember, these signs, brief chest pain and chronic insomnia, might feel small, but they're telling you something important. Your body is trying to get your attention. So listen, take action now before it's too late. If you found this video helpful, drop a comment with a 3 below to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit follow and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support helps us keep creating content that can make a difference. Take care of yourself and sleep well tonight. If you've tried all these strategies and still aren't seeing any improvement, it might be time to see a sleep specialist, because insomnia could be a symptom of something bigger, not just the cause. If you're still with me and finding these tips helpful, drop the number 4 in the comments below to let me know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to hit that follow button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos. Your support helps us keep creating content that's both helpful and inspiring. The 5th warning sign: skipping breakfast regularly. Next, let's talk about a dangerous sign that often creeps up unnoticed. If you're not sleeping deeply, you're more likely to skip breakfast, and that lingering fatigue often sticks around until noon. When you wake up in the morning, do you feel genuinely hungry? Or are you just tired and unmotivated to eat, leaving your stomach empty until lunch? It might seem like a small thing, but skipping breakfast could actually be a sign that your body is starting to shut down. For people over 70, breakfast isn't just a meal. It's a crucial part of maintaining your daily rhythm. When you wake up, your heart needs energy to start a new cycle, your blood sugar needs to stabilize, and your hormones need to wake up. Skipping breakfast means your body goes into a kind of sluggish standby mode. Consistently skipping breakfast can weaken your immune system, mess with your blood pressure, or reduce muscle mass, and mess up your digestion. Even more dangerously, it can dull your ability to recognize hunger, fullness, or fatigue, throwing off your connection with your own body. A study by Columbia University's medical school looked at over 4,000 people aged 65 and older and found that those who skipped breakfast had an 87% higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease compared to those who ate breakfast regularly. Take Mr. William, for example. He's 70 and lives alone after his wife passed. His routine was to wake up late, sip coffee, and read the news until almost noon before eating anything. Over time, he started feeling dizzy, weaker, and emotionally unstable. His doctor diagnosed him with low blood sugar and nutrient deficiencies, all on top of mild heart failure that was already draining his system. No one thinks skipping breakfast could lead to something as serious as a stroke or heart failure. But this is how the body quietly starts to break down, step by step. without us even realizing it. So what can you do? Don't let your stomach go empty for too long. You don't need a big meal, just eat something. A bowl of light porridge, a slice of egg toast, or a warm glass of milk is enough to kickstart your body. If you're not hungry, that's even more reason to eat something small. It'll help reignite your appetite. The final warning sign: prolonged loneliness. And if you've gotten used to living quietly, eating mindlessly, sleeping poorly, letting each day blur into the next, the final sign may not even be physical. It could be something deeper, a feeling that you no longer have anyone to stay healthy for. Have you found yourself talking less? Not because you've run out of things to say, but because there's no one to talk to. Silent meals, days that go by without anyone calling your name, thoughts you want to share, but keep to yourself. The kids are busy, old friends are far away, gatherings become less frequent, phone calls are rarer, meals are eaten alone. At first it feels strange, but then it becomes routine, and eventually you may find yourself living in a world that feels untouched by others. Loneliness, especially after 70, is more than just a sad feeling. It's now recognized as a serious health risk, affecting your cardiovascular health just as much as smoking does. When we lack social connection, our bodies enter a state of constant alert. Stress hormones surge, blood vessels tighten, and our heart rate rises. The heart has to work harder, without us even noticing. Over time, this takes a toll. The longer it goes on, the weaker the heart becomes. A study by the Age Research Centre in the UK followed over 8,000 people for 12 years. They found that people over 70 who lived alone and had little social interaction were 5 times more likely to die from heart disease than those who stayed socially connected, even when factors like cholesterol, blood pressure, and weight were the same. Take Mrs. Lorraine, 79, from Oregon. She lost her husband 10 years ago, and her children live far away. She doesn't call anyone, avoids social media, and isn't involved in community activities. When she visited her doctor for chest pain, the doctor asked, "When was the last time you laughed?" She was silent for a moment, then quietly answered, "I don't remember." People don't typically leave because of a major event. They leave because they lose their reason to stay. So what can we do? You don't need a lot of friends or constant noise around you. You just need meaningful, regular connection. Call an old friend, text your grandkids, join a book club, a painting class, or a local wellness group. If you're feeling isolated, start by writing a handwritten letter to yourself each morning. Write down something you're grateful for or a small moment that made you happy. The hearts that last the longest are the ones that are listened to. People don't leave because of heart attacks. They leave because they no longer have a reason for their heart to keep beating. The 6 signs I'm about to share with you may not seem urgent. They may not grab your attention immediately. And you may have never been told to watch out for them. They are things like persistent fatigue, shortness of breath when climbing stairs, a fleeting chest pain that comes and goes, those nights when you can't sleep, those mornings when you don't feel like eating, and then those long days with no one left to call your grandmother. If you've noticed any of these signs, whether in yourself or someone you care about, don't ignore them. They're not trivial. They're your body's way of saying, "I'm getting weaker." You don't need a crowd around you. You just need one person who listens. And a reason to stay healthy, either for yourself or for someone you love. If someone came to mind as you watch this, it might be a good time to send them a message. Or simply ask, "Are you feeling okay today?" Because in the end, it's not when the heart stops that marks when someone leaves. It's when they feel they have no one left to live for. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I hope you'll visit again in the next video. We still have so much more to share with each other.